Alright, today we're going to be working on a 2001 Mitsubishi Eclipse. I'm going to be replacing all 4 motor mounts, and I'm not a mechanic, so I believe technically they're not motor mounts. I believe 1 or 2 of them is considered a transmission mount, but that's where we're at. Just a recap on what I used. You have this guy uses a hammer, regular socket, torque, or regular wrench, torque wrench. I used a 12 socket millimeter, 14 millimeter, and a 17 millimeter. A couple extensions. I'll show you right now. I don't know if you can see that, but pretty much just have that. You want to have a board between your jack and the oil pan there. So we're going to start off with one of these side mounts here. And this guy, I don't know if you can see it in there, but he's right in there. Lighting's kind of bad. So what we're going to want to do first is remove all these components that are possibly in the way. Alright, so if you see here, this guy slides out. Set him to the side. This guy, there's 2 bolts you can take out, and then he's connected with some tubes, but I'm just kind of throwing them to the side. Alright, so we just uninstalled the side motor mount, and this is the old one, and as you see, I mean, this guy came out completely. There's a hole. There's a new one, nice and solid. This is what we're about to install. Alright, took the liberty of taking this guy. I don't know what he is, but took him off there, literally just switched it over right away. And I'll show you the next step here in a minute. Alright, so for this side engine mount, I just got done putting in this bolt that actually goes through the mount. And the hard part here is making sure that it actually lines up. So the 2 tricks are going to be keeping these 3 not tightened. I actually still have a pretty decent gap there, which I can tighten later. So this guy moves. Another trick is for this guy, when he's trying to thread over on this left side there, what I ended up having to do is actually take this guy right here, just give him a little love tap, get him in there, so once he's in that hole, then you can really tighten it. Otherwise you're just going to be spinning there all day. So at this point, I hand tightened all my bolts. I got that one there that I had to loosen. These 2 here, I already attached that. You have your main one there, obviously, and then these 3. And I just did that with a regular wrench with a couple extensions so that I could have clearance. What I'm going to do now is go back with a torque wrench so that I can specify, make sure these are all torqued correctly. And I don't know if you can find those numbers online. If not, I suggest going to one of your local auto parts centers and pick yourself up a book for this car, and it will tell you all the torque specifications that you need to know. Right, so that pretty much wraps it up. I got my coolant overflow back in, my power steering, reattached those bolts. I took the liberty, I said before, you can't see it now, but I tightened up all my bolts to the specific torques, and that's how you replace your mount.